In our last tutorial, we saw that how the package.json file used or how the package.json file manage our application packages and the versioning number. Now let's understand all the files one by one. We have let's understand from the end. This is the readme file. Readme file is the file that used to describe your package file when it uploaded in the GitHub. For example, if I go to GitHub, my repository is the JavaScript for everything. It takes some time to load. My network speed may not work well. So now come to the readme file. When we create any JavaScript deploy, any project deploy in the GitHub, then we can use this readme file so that our application, how our application works, or what's the feature in my application. This is the landing page, or this is the some kind of HTML file for our GitHub project directory. So how our project look like, or if we need any link, we can attach there. This is the readme file. Actually, this is the what is called markup. It is the markdown file. AMD stands for markdown. It is the another markup language like HTML. So you can see that 1 dash 1 hash, it represents the higher priority, like the HTML H1. We have the HTML H1, H2, H3. Similar things happen when you write a single H1 or double H1. It is similar like a H2 file, index.html, like similar H2. It will similar this one. If we write H3, that goes similar H3, and same goes for H4, 5, 6. So this is our no need there, modify, undo. So this is just, it is just for representation your project directory in the GitHub. That's all. If I check my this comes. If I go to any package, suppose I have some repository for my, actually go to my portfolio page, portfolio project. Now you can see that this is my readme.md file. So if I open the readme.md file, you can see that in my readme.md file, if I say the raw HTML file formatted, not HTML. If I go to the edit, actually to edit I have to so this is the readme file that represent that how your project file look like. This is some kind of HTML file. So now let's go to the project package.json. We already covered that package.json file. It is this file manage all the packages installed in your project, and which project will run which file, and that's all. I covered all the details in my last tutorial. Now come to the package.lock.json file. Actually this file may vary from your package manager. Here I install npm package manager to manage our node package manager, to manage our React applications. There are actually 3 main package manager like npm1, npm, another is yarn, yarn. Suppose if I can install npm install, then package name. Suppose Axios. If I install yarn, then I have to similar yarn add this way, and this second one. Another one is pnpm, like pnpm install. These are three package manager to install a package. Here I install all the things with npm. That is the reason when we create npm or pnpm, it create the package manager package.lock.json. What this file do? This file actually handle this package file. Suppose when we install XJS version to 1.1.4.0, and this version number will maintain by this file. So if we manually change something version number, then this folder will complain that this file managed manually. So that for security, so this file always check that this file version number is always same as this file version number. So it will check the security for this file. Now come to the another file. It is the gitignore file. When we deploy our file in our project folder, in our GitHub repository, GitHub project, then some file we do not want to deploy there. For example, node modules. When we open our project file, we see that the node module has a very long directory. It is a very big directory. So we do not upload or push this directory to our GitHub project. If I go to my any GitHub repository, I can see my all the files, but I do not see the node module folder, because I ignored that file by this file. So any file name or any folder name entered here, that will not be pushed to GitHub. Actually, this is the topic of Git. So anyone who do not know that what Git and how that works, so they do not may understand what I am talking to. So just ignore that file. This file, just ignore pushing file to GitHub. Now come to our two folders. We have public and source. Let's understand at first public. Public file. This folder is a folder when we create React application. Suppose I have the React application. Is it running? No, it is not running. Let's at first running this folder, React project. So I am already in my React project. So npm start will run my project. It will run my project. Okay, close this one and try to start this one. Actually, it is still building. So at build time, it takes some time. So now my application is running. So if I try to suppose this file logo 192.png, if I try slash logo 192.png, it will appear this file, this image file, which appears there. So if we want any public resources, suppose image, then PDF file or a manufacturer file, that all file will be available there. That this file will be publicly available. But if we put anything outside this folder, that will be not available or accessible by this browser or React project. That will that all the file available in this folder, that means its source folder, that will be available by the node application, as we speak that our node application manage node script file manage our node application. What in our package file, when we run React script, actually React npm start, it run the React script file, and React script file always look into the source folder, and it run the index folder, index.js file, and index file is the main file which is manage all the React application. So anything outside of this public folder will not be available in our React application, but that available will be available in our production development side by the node application. Hopefully I can explain. Now come to the favicon. When we try to run our application in actual React DOM or browser, we can see that it was give some error that our favicon was not shown there. When we put any file in a public folder favicon name, it will disappear that message, and it will appear in our terminal file, our page tab logo. So this is the favicon file. Now HTML file, this is the main file. And React index.json file, so index.js file can target. There is not available. Actually, when we explain that how Node.js manage React application, then we explain that how we can target any JavaScript file by the Node application. So React script start this file, and that file will target that index.html file script file, this line. So after we target this file, entire React DOM depends on this line, this div. So now we understand that HTML, what is the HTML used for. Now come to the logo. Actually this is the image file we covered in our minifist file. Minifist file, what is this minifist file? Minifist file is the file that when we create any React application, it needs some metadata, like if I go to my setting, and if I do not have there, but some application, when you create an application, you get some that save this file in your desktop or mobile app. For this kind of task, we need this a minifist file. Minifist file, this icon appears here. You will be appear in your mobile device or desktop application when we save this file into our desktop or our home page. So minifist file is managed for the logo or the text for the application we save in our mobile application desktop, mobile application in desktop home page or web page desktop page in desktop mode. Now come to the robot. Actually this file is managed by the SEO, React SEO. So React is not suitable for SEO. That is the reason we do not need anymore for this file. Now we understand all the file in public folder. Now come to the source folder. Actually we already covered that with source folder we need only one file, index file, which is target by the package.json file, is the start script or build script. Actually it is start script. By start script we target this file, this index.json file, and this file is the main base for our entire JavaScript React application. in our React application, we covered that when we create any application, we target that application into React DOM by the React library, React DOM library. Now render that file, and we create that file in separate file. That file actually app.js file in separate file. That separate file is that app.js. If anything changes in app.js, that means that changes will be applied in our render method. That means our React DOM render that content in our React application. So this is the main file. So all the file we create will somehow attached will be attached with this file. And now I can see another file called app.css, and another file called app.txt, and and two more file called report webpack virtuals. Let's understand for first one, app.css. As its name says, it is the CSS file. So this CSS will only applied for this app.js file. Actually we can apply anywhere, but we give a name so that we can understand that this file, this style file, will only be used for this JavaScript file. Now come to the test file. When we talking about the package.json test command, we actually run this test file. What the test file? A test file. Test file do what do? Test file actually run some test that what our page have, is our test success or fail. Actually test will cover in later another series, so we will do not discuss anymore for the test. Actually when we run the test script, it actually run this test file. That's enough. Now come to another report file. It is a special file which manages some advanced level configuration. So here we do not need to that web. What is this called? It is called web. Actually I forgot the name, so just ignore that. Setup.txt. This is the React testing library. Actually when which file will be available for testing, we will set up there, and that file will be tested here. So React test command manage a setup.txt file, and setup.txt file run all the file that has .txt extensions. So for that I will complete all the files for our React applications. So now in our next tutorial we will cover various ways to create a React project.